Deion Sanders downplays get-back angle against number 25 BYU after last season's loss in Alamo Bowl, Boulder. Colo, AP. A drizzly morning drove the Colorado Buffaloes inside for practice Tuesday and their coach to some rainy day musings. Deion Sanders offered thoughts on a variety of topics, from condensing the transfer portal window, to providing injury reports for Big 12 games, to fans leaving Folsom Field early, to the Buffaloes, 2-2, 0-1 Big 12, possibly playing up the revenge factor as they face number 25 BYU, 3-0. 0-0 this weekend in a rematch of last season's Alamo. Bowl Sanders wants no part in using the memories of a 36-14. Bowl lost to the Cougars last December as motivation. We ain't with that get-back stuff, Sanders said. I ain't with that get-back stuff. I'm with that let's get them stuff. They played their butts off, kicked our butts in the bowl game. Now we have a whole new team. Sanders was asked about the NCAA's FBS Oversight Committee recently recommending the elimination of the spring transfer window and having just a 10-day window starting on Jan. 2, as someone who dabbles in the portal quite a bit, Sanders didn't seem all that concerned. It's the same rules for everyone, right? Sanders said. So we're going to get what we want. We always do. And when we don't get what we want, that means somebody offered more money. That's it. As long as the playing field is level for everyone, I'm good. I have no complaints. He also didn't fuss over the Big 12 requiring injury and availability updates before conference games. He has quite a few this week, with offensive linemen Jordan Seaton and Zy Chrysler, along with tailbacks DeKellen Taylor and Simeon Price, dinged up after a 37-20 win over Wyoming on Saturday. That's for gambling purposes. Ain't got nothing to do with us, Sanders said. That's my thoughts. He understood why a good chunk of Colorado fans bolted from the stands after halftime last weekend. The Buffaloes were up 28-3 early in the third, and it was family weekend. You would love that to happen, because when they're leaving, what does that mean? That means the game is over. They're going to party. I'm cool with that, Sanders said. I know where they're at, so I don't mind them emptying. A week ago, the Buffaloes were unsettled at QB. Now, they may have just found some stability. Transfer Caden Salter threw 3 TD passes and ran for another against Wyoming. I think you just saw a kid hit another switch and say, I've got to get this together, and I've got to play up to my ability, Sanders explained. Salter's leadership was on display after running back Micah Welch fumbled with the Buffaloes deep in Wyoming territory. Salter went over and comforted Welch. It goes a long way with your teammates when they see, in a time of despair, that you're able to pick that guy up, Sanders said. The Cougars are a team that Sanders respects. Their coach, Kalani Sitake, is someone he admires. But this game holds the same amount of importance. Every week is a proving ground, Sanders said. But we've got to win these type of games. We've got to be dominant in these type of games. Honorary Sanders is a big fan of offensive lineman Yahya Attia, who's from London and only started playing American football a few years ago. Last season, Shiloh and Shitter Sanders took Attia under their wing. He wants to change his name to Sanders. He really does. That's no joke, Deion Sanders said. Everyone on the team knows that he's one of my favorites. Shiloh and Shedder took care of him, looked out for him, treated him like he was the big little brother last year. He's on private jets. He's going to Vegas. He's going to Texas. He was everywhere, and he didn't have to reach in his pocket for a dime last year. He was taken care of well, so he wants to become a Sanders to continue that. Podcast guest Sanders recently went on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers, Jason and Travis, and offered his thoughts on how Jacksonville is using two-way standout Travis Hunter. They're not using him enough. Sanders also offered up thoughts on why his QB son, Shadur, wouldn't have wanted to be drafted by a team like Baltimore last April and back up Lamar Jackson for 10 years. I've never sat on the bench and said, wow, I learned a lot today.